Hi everybody, John back again. Just the other day, James Griffiths made a video called, I think he called it the 20 Great British Rock Bands. He felt inspired to do that because he'd seen a few other people do it. I know I've seen Vinyl Richie make one and Norman Maslov. There's probably other people too, but I haven't seen them all. And I thought I'd jump on the thread. Simply because of this, there seems to be this genuine sort of formula that people show bands work their way, and sort of in the number one slot is always going to be the Beatles, with the Stones very close to that. And I think that's a bit boring, isn't it? You know, a bit of a formula. There's also, if you think about it, you can also fall into the formula of, okay, so you're going to show Beatles and the Stones, you're going to show classic rock with Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, and then you're probably going to show punk bands, you know, Sex Pistols, The Clash, The Damned, Buzzcocks, and before you know it, you know, you haven't really got much, you know, very many places to go. So I thought what I would do is I would do a slightly different approach. I'm going to start off by showing the Beatles, so that's the number one. Not to say that they're at the bottom of the list or anything like that, but I thought I'd kind of get some of the more obvious ones out of the way. Here's the Rolling Stones, number two. And then I'm going to show the Who, to get that one out of the way. And now I'm going to go straight into the classic rock. So here we've got Deep Purple, so number four. All a bit dusty, but a dusty Black Sabbath. There you go. Number five. And then we'll show Led Zeppelin, number six. So that's got some obvious ones. My list, it doesn't have Queen in it. I haven't got Pink Floyd in it. In fact, I don't think I've come to think of it, I don't have any prog in here whatsoever, so there's no Yes or Genesis. Now my prog friends will be screaming at the screen saying, John, how could you not include Yes and Genesis and Jethro Tull and so on and so forth in a list of 20 great British bands? Well, I just think, you know, you could probably make a whole separate list with prog bands, and that would work quite well. So maybe we'll revisit that one other day. Anyway, so after the classic rock, you can't ignore the fact that we had some really pretty fine heavy metal come out of the UK. Heavy metal bands such as Motorhead, who had a huge influence on, well, pretty much everything and everything, hard rock and heavy metal related. They certainly had a huge impact on what went on in America in the San Francisco thrash scene, I know that. Now I'm going to show Iron Maiden. I could have shown Judas Priest, but I thought, well, I'll show it this one because I don't have many Maiden records, sadly. This is one I do have, and I thought it was fun to show it. But they're definitely a great British rock band. Now, here, yeah, I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't show the Sex Pistols. Here's my original copy, all the way from 1977. Complete with graffiti, and yep, you can smell the glue probably. And then I thought, well, okay, so the UK, we're quite a diverse nation, so let's look at some of the other corners of the United Kingdom, Great Britain. Here's Wales, a great rock band, Alarm. It's their album called Strength, from Wales. And we've got the Undertones, who are from Northern Ireland, British as can be. And then to represent Scotland, I chose Nazareth, great band. Little picture of Nazareth there. So that's a few down. Now I'm going to show a band that spawned a lot of other music and other bands. So this is John Mayall's Blues Breakers. This one's got Eric Clapton, The one that comes after that has Peter Green. Jack Bruce came out of the Blues Breakers, and a lot more besides. So that's a great British band. Talking of Peter Green, couldn't not show Fleetwood Mac, brilliant band. And this was when they were a British band. Question is as to when they ended up, were they more American than British? I don't know. Now I've got a few more here, and I'm showing this one purely because the Faces are one of my favourite bands. So this is the Faces. I love the Faces. I probably should have put this right up there at the top with The Who and Rolling Stones, because they're such a brilliant band. Can't get enough of them. So the ones I got left are perhaps a little bit more sort of unusual, and ones that you wouldn't necessarily know. So there's a few sort of curveballs here. So I jokingly said to James when he showed his records that he forgot to include Duran Duran. I'm going to include Duran Duran as a great British band purely because if you think about the Beatles and the Stones and a lot of the artists that come out of that whole beat movement, they formed what went on to become the British invasion, where they sort of went and conquered America. Duran Duran spearheaded the second British invasion. I read a statistic on the Wikipedia just yesterday. Something like, I don't know, something like 60% of music that was consumed in America in about 1982, 83, 84 came from Britain, which is an incredible statistic, isn't it? Although I'm paraphrasing it here, I should probably put a line here of what it actually said. So that's Duran Duran, great British band. I'm going to show another band that most people probably wouldn't consider, really, but I am going to do it, simply because they won, when was this now? Going back in 1994 or 5 or something like that. They won the world's biggest music competition. The world's biggest music event is the Eurovision Song Contest, and Katrina and the Waves won it for Britain. So Katrina Leskanich is Canadian, but there's no doubt they were formed in Britain. The rest of the members are British. They're a British band. Now, down to my last three. Who could it be? You know, I've shown the Beatles, shown the Stones. Who else could be up there at the top? Well, there was one band that really did have a huge influence on many other musicians and bands and things, and that is the Shadows. Again, on Wikipedia, I was reading just the other day the huge influence that the Shadows had on guitarists of all flavour. Everybody from Tony Iommi, David Gilmour, you name them, they were listening out to Hank Marvin and the Shadows in their early days, and it's often or not what inspired them to want to play their instruments and form bands. So I'm going to put the Shadows right up there at the top because they had a huge influence on British music. Here's a curveball for you. I don't believe I've seen anybody show this one. So, number 2, I'm going to put the Jimi Hendrix Experience. We often fail to think of them as a British band, but British they were. They were formed in London. They were managed by Chas Chandler. The bass player and the drummer were British. Hey, Jimi Hendrix was playing Keith Richards' guitar, so there you go. British band, number 2 on my list. And the last one, so in the 80s there was a huge problem in the world, massive great big famine happening in African countries, one in particular, and there was a huge great big gig put together, the world's biggest concert ever. I don't believe it's ever been topped. Had all the world's biggest names. It took place here in the UK and also in America. Who do you get to open the biggest concert in the world to raise money for starving people? You get the Quo. Enough said. Thanks very much everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. Check out my next video. Bye.